Hello everybody, welcome again. This is the GGRated.net live show, episode number 17, and man, we have a special action-packed episode for you guys today. I'm your host, the Iceman, and joining me, as always, is our friend HyDra. How's it going?
Yeah, doing good. Just escaped the office and rushed home to avoid the traffic, so here I am, cool and ready for having some fun tonight.
Awesome. You missing the Mediterranean at all? Having some nice dreams of being in the water?
I would like to be there. Always better to be on holidays than just going to the office and working. But the only issue I would have, it probably would need some really powerful wireless connection or satellite connection to do GG-rated while in the middle of the Mediterranean. So I guess I'm glad to be home at the moment, since I don't have one.
Awesome. Also joining us from Sweden is our good friend Sebastian. How are you doing, my friend?
I am excellent. I have very many excellent things going on right now, but it all comes down to this Monday's show, which I feel will be packed with epicness. I'm so happy to be here once again, Iceman.
Yes, indeed. Also joining us is a fourth voice on the show, also coming from Sweden, and that would be our special guest, Dario, the little one. How are you doing, TLO?
Hey, I'm doing great. Happy to be on the show and happy to be in Sweden.
Yeah, awesome to have you here. I know Sebastian has been keeping us informed with things going on over there in Sweden, and we've talked about the new gamer house that you have instituted over there with a couple of your friends, Sho and Maro and Bishu, and we also followed the action that took place with the charity event, and thought that was really cool that you put something together like that.
Yeah, I shouldn't take all the credit. Obviously, like all of Team Liquid helped me a lot to put it together, and especially NASL and Riptide and people doing graphics. So it was not only my work, even though I have been the guy who actually did it. But yeah, big thank you to everybody who was involved in it too as well.
Yeah, awesome stuff all around. So big hats off to all the people who were involved in that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
TLO, would you like to tell us a little bit about the life in the gamer house right now? Recently, I just, on HyDra's channel, I was able to catch the interview on the Swedish show Rematch, I believe it was, where they did a little bit of interviews from each player from the life in the house. Is there anything you can tell us about how things are going on over there currently that might have not been covered in that video?
Well, it's going pretty relaxed. Everybody's kind of doing its own thing, and yeah, it's going good. Everybody's practicing right now except me because I'm with you on the show and you're wasting my time. No, just kidding. Yeah, it's going good. Yeah, everything's great.
Yeah, and I know you were talking to us a little bit before the show, and you were mentioning how your CTS is flaring up a little bit in your wrist, and so you're going to be making somewhat of a transition, maybe from not so much a gamer, but more into entrepreneurial and shoutcaster role, and you're kind of trying to find your niche right now while you're working some things out. How's that going? Any plans that we can make arrangements for in the future to watch out for things that you're going to be involved in? I know that you've been quite heavily involved in some casting work, and Sebastian has informed us and showed us actually his videos where you guys have done dual commentary, so that was really interesting.
Well, right now I'm kind of just state of figuring out what I'm gonna fill my days with, because I used to be playing like a lot, and now I kind of have a lot of free space for what I need to find things to fill it with. So it's only been like a few days that it got like pretty bad, and I was told to take a break. So right now I'm not sure what I'll be doing, but I'll use time to recover. Probably gonna actually do a lot of relaxation, just use the opportunity to do a little bit of holiday as well, and well, whatever the casting or other content is gonna come along, I'll be very interested to tag along and see what I can do to help.
Definitely. Yeah, we're all going to be paying attention, I guess, and keeping our eyes open, because the gamer house over there is quite new, and I'm sure everybody's interested in what's going on over there. So good to have you on the show, and it's nice to get a little bit of an insight into the pro gamer life. Anyways, you guys ready to jump into today's topics? I know there's the news list is quite long, and we have quite a few match results and pieces of news to go over, and thought that HyDra would be joining us a little bit later, so I moved the GSL topics last. So instead of our usual start off with GSL, I think we're going to hit up the NASL week number 7 first of all. And Sebastian, would you like to take care of the results and go over that for us real quick as I get the VOD up?
Well, looking at the NASL Week 7 results, we do see that Moon took down our celebrity guest, TLO, in a recent battle, and of course we can dwell a bit on that. And Morrow was awarded a 2-0 win walkover over Artosis since he had trouble with his internet. And then we saw American Zerg player Vibe take down the Brood War legend Rainbow. And I actually managed to catch that game, and indeed it seemed like Rainbow was off his play. But since we got TLO on the show, do you mind telling us a bit about the Moon match, or is it just something you want to forget?
Well, I mean, one thing I can tell you, I was having the 24-hour marathon on Sunday until Monday.
That is
So
a reason?
Yeah, so I mean, it sounds a little bit like an excuse, but I was playing the Moon match 8 p.m., I think, or 9 p.m. CST, and I was stopping my marathon 11 a.m. So I only had less than 12 hours to get rested and kind of get into the zone again. So I basically went to sleep after the marathon. Couldn't really sleep because my system was kind of messed up by energy drinks and all that stuff. So I slept like 3 or 4 hours. And then I knew I'm gonna play some Moon in some hours, so that didn't really go too well. I just wanted to try to end the games as quickly as possible, to be honest.
Fair enough.
Condolences. Moving on, however, with further results from there, we saw Canadian Protoss Kiwi Kaki take down the alleged Protoss King, or is that Orc King rather, Grubby, who has been showing quite strong results, but is yet to really climb into that top tier of the StarCraft 2 Elite. And then we saw Phoenix take down Chef, and Chef has really been very popular lately, and perhaps this was a bit of an upset. Phoenix... perhaps not favored in that matchup, but what do I know? And then Morrow, who's of course a housemate of TLO, managed to take down Phoenix in the following match. How was the excitement in the house after that, Dario?
Oh, I mean, to be honest, it's not very unexpected tomorrow to take games. I think he's one of the strongest players in Europe, so... No big deal. Everyday work of Stefan. I'm very proud of him every day. Definitely one of the strongest players and a little bit of a Zerg prodigy.
Definitely. And I can just take the remaining results from week 7 while I'm at it. Again, another housemate of yours, Show, Terran player, took down QXC, the prodigal Terran from America. I believe he's still in Europe on his school Euro trip kind of thing. And allegedly he doesn't have enough practice time, but... excuses or not, Show is a very strong Terran, and he took him down. Then we saw Dark Force, a German Zerg that I featured on my channel, taking down the Korean Terran and Snare, and that was perhaps not expected at all. And speaking of unexpected, In Control, one of the hosts of NASL, took down the Grandpa Toss himself, special tactics non-regarding, taking down WhiteRa. And then Cruncher, the guy who bad-mannered Idra in such a spectacular fashion in the TSL, I believe it was, took down French Zerg player Moomon, who cares? And then July Zerg stomped over Canadian Protoss CT1, just like it was supposed to happen.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
Don't mention much Dark Force, because every time you mention Dark Force, I always have an image in my mind or with him on Take Sen's house with the go-go dancer on his lap. It's always what I remember. It's kind of messed up. But yeah, I watched his matches. They were really cool. I enjoyed WhiteRa versus In Control, and actually there's more PvP, like exciting matches on PvP showing up currently. You know that a lot of viewers keep complaining about it. It was boring, or at least it was always the same thing, or the builds were so similar that you end up with forgating all the time. And it seems like that we're transitioning a bit at the moment, and actually that In Control versus WhiteRa series was fairly interesting. I like that.
Definitely. Commenting on Dark Force versus Ensnare, I don't want to take any credit away from Dark Force, but we always have to look at the Korean matches in NASL a little bit carefully because you have to be honest, playing from Korea on any other server
Yeah.
just sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the entire performance of every Korean player or players from Korea living there, it's just so much worse than what their actually player quality is, and it makes me a little bit sad how Koreans kind of get slaughtered in NASL, just put in there with so bad conditions, and they have to play at 4 a.m. and stuff like that. So, little bit condolences for everybody from Korea in the NASL
Yeah.
from my side.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's complicated. We actually don't see that much complaining on NASL, but I recall last week on the Gigabyte StarsWars where they play with the Chinese players, and I recall comments from players playing from Europe saying the lag is just tremendous. I can't even play properly. They were just typing on the game. And I mean, I'm assuming that it's going to be the same or even worse trying to go from Korea to play on the North American servers. And obviously that shows on the results that the Koreans are getting. We do have some nice results occasionally. For example, July Zerg has been doing fairly well on the NASL, but it's hard. I mean, TLO is 100% right. I can imagine the amount of lag that you get playing from that far away.
Definitely. And since you were chiming in there, Hydra, why don't you continue on the results where Sebastian left off, picking up with Nada versus Flush there?
Yeah, well, Nada had a clear win. Now, here's an example of one Korean that was able to handle the lag and the latency and be able to take Slush 2-0, a clear win there. And we have Nanua defeating Axlav. What can I say? Nanua is on the top of his game for at least like the last couple of months, even 3 months. And he's been tuning up his game since he got into Team Dignitas. Something changed. We already commented about this. Something changed on his posture since he got there. Good for Nanua, and congrats because he's a very solid Protoss player. Then you have Squirtle defeating DDE, another Korean being able to handle the pressure there, and Moonglade getting defeated by Kawaii Rice. I watched this game between Moonglade and Kawaii Rice, and in the final interview, you could hear Kawaii Rice making comments about himself recognizing how bad he has been playing the last couple of months or so, that he just looks at his games after he does them, he takes a look at the replays and he just finds so many flaws that he knows that he can be at least a couple of notches above the level that he's been through all this time. So hopefully we might be seeing more of Kawaii Rice in the future. Maybe he's just fine-tuning his play style and he's going to start showing some results now. He took a win here over Moonglade. Congrats to him. And then you have that April versus Treylock. He got postponed because one of them was ill, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
There it is. April was not aired because he was bedridden with a fever. Yeah, I recall reading some comments about that. So it's another match that got postponed, and we might be seeing it on one of the future days.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that. It always sucks when you get sick at an event like that. And I'm gonna have to give NSL big props for allowing players to postpone games because of sickness. Good move by them.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to chime in and agree with that. I think we've seen quite a few times already where they've been very flexible about rescheduling games. So it's nice to see that NASL is really working with the players to let them be flexible with their schedules and get in there when they can. So it's really nice to see that.
Okay, now wrapping it up, you had Sen defeating Druby, a clear win, 2-0. Druby has a lot of fans, but also has a lot of haters, so this is going to be mixed feelings here. Zinio defeating Sok, a clear win, also 2-0, actually surprised me. I find Sok very solid. He's a very consistent player, and was hoping for him to give a bit more of resistance to Zinio play, but seems like that Zinio is just trailing and doing quite fine on the NASL.
Yeah, Zinio's been playing really well lately.
Yeah, and Mana defeating Pain User. Also, we keep in mind that Zinio defeated Idra on the previous week, and they have kind of a quarrel between them. Well, it's not a quarrel, it's just a bit of attitude, but it shows when they face each other. Well,
yeah, it's definitely a quarrel. I've been there in real life.
Could you care to enlighten on that a little bit more, TLO?
I mean, I was present at the GSL when Zinio actually played against Idra. So Idra was very confident to beat him, and he was like talking down on him big time. And then Idra gets beaten 2-0 by Zinio, and just
in a very
rushes out of
spectacular way as well.
Absolutely, Zinio was playing an interesting overseer strategy, basically
Mm-hmm.
using Contaminate on all the hatcheries, and IPL was just completely unprepared. I mean, it was such an original strategy, so I can't blame him for that. And he just rushed out, didn't talk to anyone, and was gone for a few days.
Yeah.
He was so
Yeah.
pissed.
Yeah, I can
That's a
imagine.
quarrel.
Yeah, there was a picture that was basically pasted on every forum and website related with StarCraft 2, where you see Zinio just getting up a little bit and making like a threatening gesture inside the booth, threatening
Yeah.
to slap HyDra. And yeah, well, things just start carrying on from then, and now they got a kind of a quarrel between them. But yeah, it was cool to see them facing each other last week, and apparently we have Zinio still charging his way, defeating now Sokka. Then Mana defeated Pain User. Well, actually didn't defeat it. There's a note here saying that Pain User decided it was not worth his time to play out this week on NASL, and Mana receives a walkover, so he took the win 2-0, but they actually didn't play the games. I find this kind of curious. I know that Pain User is focused a lot now on his casting, co-casting, and all of that, but just not having time to focus himself on a tournament that it is in North America, so he wouldn't be having any issues with lag or anything like that, and he could actually have some nice results there. Well, a bit surprising, but it's his decision, and I'm pretty sure he knows better than me. And last but not least, the final match was Boxer, Slayers Boxer versus Cloud, with Boxer winning 2-1, so still fairly close, and Cloud doing kind of well there. Nice for him, but Boxer still taking the win.
Mm-hmm. So Koreans pulled out and did quite well this week, despite the lag issues that we have talked about and the downsides for them. But nice results this week, and NASL shaping up to be one of the more exciting tournaments to keep following. So I keep checking out on all those results, and definitely action-packed there.
Yeah.
And you are competing in a short while, aren't you, Dario, in the NASL?
Yeah, I'll be playing later today, so gonna be interesting. But don't expect any broadcast later today because that is actually not live. So I have to
Yeah.
disappoint people who got their hopes up. It's gonna be broadcasted tomorrow. So
Yeah.
Oh well. Best
Yeah,
of
it's not a
luck,
big deal.
regardless.
I mean, people just wait like 24 more hours and they'll be able to see your matches. It's going to be fine. I think that's not the major issue, especially because people now are just used to the fact that the games take like a couple of days to actually get streamed, and it's a way to allow NASL to edit everything they want and get everything set and just polished as they desire. So, all good.
Definitely. But moving on with more North American tournament news, we have the IPL Season 2 qualifiers, which are continuing to take place. And we got some really big names here outside of the North American scene. And I know, HyDra, you've been voicing your opinion, hoping to see some more big-name players
Yep.
show up. And I think we got a nice handful of really good players
Indeed.
qualifying here in the qualifier number 3, especially seeing WhiteRa, Night End, who took place... he was in the TSL 3, and Thorzane. Man, this is going to be exciting to see him play among all these other great players we have here. So looks like IPL Season 2 is shaping up to be something really huge as we see more and more superstars just flood in on the scene. And with the quality and the post-production quality that we've seen from the IGN Pro League, I'm really psyched to watch this new season when it does air, when we get all the seeds and qualifiers completed. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, as you guys can see on the list, there's already several really well-known names on the community starting to get qualified. They're going to get their seeds. And as we all know, the first season of IPL, they mentioned that several times, was basically a test bed for something bigger. It was focused on the North American community, and now we see a lot of Europeans showing up. We actually have TLO here. I'm not sure if there's anyone on the pro gaming house in Sweden considering to focus more on this IPL, but seems like the tournament is growing. TLO, you guys talk about any of this?
Yeah, I actually tried qualifying and just missed by one round. So I'm a little bit sad about that.
Oh,
And I
damn
think
it.
the other guys were like trying too, but had a little bit of bad luck, always getting kind of bad brackets. And how many more qualifiers are there going to be?
I think at least a couple more, if I'm not mistaken. So there
Yeah.
will be chances to try again. And I mean, it gets to a point, you will have a chance to probably face some solid, strong opponents, but I'm pretty sure you have a good chance of grabbing a spot. I mean, there's still plenty of spots available, still a lot of players to get seeded, and if you have the opportunity to play again, I would say go for it. I would love to see you facing some of these beasts here, and being you one of the huge monsters on the European side, I would like to see you clash against the North Americans, to be honest.
Yeah, it's gonna come a little bit down to my physical health right now.
Of course.
So I might just focus on the tournaments I've already committed to instead of getting even more on myself.
Indeed.
It kind of sucks, but that's the way I gotta go right now.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
There
you're
will
only
be more
human like all of
tournaments.
us. Yeah.
And StarCraft 2 will continue to grow and provide even better tournaments out there, and perhaps taking an observer's perspective for a while, whilst healing medical conditions can be very advantageous for a pro gamer and an entrepreneur of esports at the same time. But we got some chat questions here, which I think is somewhat related to what we're talking about, because we have the many online qualifiers where and tournaments where lag is an issue, and that's something that perhaps can be resolved technically or via some new tradition of switching servers depending on what the optimal setting would be. But when it comes to the offline events, TLO, something we've been discussing several times here on GGRated, how much does jet lag affect you? I know you're going to MLG 2 days earlier. Is that to be well and rested before the event takes place?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Team Liquid is pretty smart like that, always sending us a little bit earlier because
Yeah.
I don't really have any problems with jet lag ever because of that. I think I'm kind of good at dealing with jet lag by now anyways because I'm probably one of the few people who have been like traveling around so much. But offline experiences are definitely always different. I mean, there's always a big chance you get sick or feel like kind of unwell after long travels. So it's not only gonna come down to just who is the strongest player, but people who got the strongest physical and mental health.
Definitely. That's
Yep.
probably one thing that's overlooked. More people just think, oh, they're having an off day, or they're just their performance, or they didn't practice enough. But probably a lot of people don't take into consideration the whole jet lag and actual physical condition of the body completely contributes to the overall mental capacity of what you can sustain in game.
Yeah, and actually planning ahead and, for example, flying people in 2 days before, it's a good strategy in my opinion. At least you can just sit down, get used to the time schedule, and when you actually sit down to take the game seriously, at least you're going to have mental-wise, you're going to be more stable, more relaxed, more calm and rested, and that's only an advantage. I mean, I'm pretty sure it will be showing compared with someone that just flies the night before or something like that. Might be an advantage, and it's a good strategy in my opinion.
Absolutely, pays off.
Definitely.
Yeah. Let me just make a mention about the IPL before we pass on. You do see that one of the qualified on qualifier number 3 was Thorzane. I was watching this live and I kept typing on the chat that I was a bit, well, not frustrated, but a bit upset because Thorzane faced Hasselhoff to get that spot. And then
Hasselhoff.
afterwards, yeah, and then afterward you had other players that are not as relevant on the community that got a spot, got qualified, and I was just wondering, damn, that guy got qualified and Hasselhoff got stuck outside. But rumor has it that Hasselhoff is going to try again, so we might be seeing him and Thorzane along all the other monsters that are going to be playing on the IPL, and I would love to see that. I think that if Hasselhoff gets stuck outside because he got eliminated by Thorzane on the qualifiers would be a bit unfair.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can't really speak of unfairness. It's just how bracket tournaments work, and
Yeah,
it's just something you have to gotta live with. I mean, in the end, in a tournament, you're probably gonna face Thorzane later on, anyways. So, Thorzane eliminated him, and I think that makes things always interesting because it's always a little bit of a double-edged sword. Like in one way, you never want to meet good players early on in a bracket or even in a qualifier. But it also gives you the opportunity to eliminate a potential threat later on in the tournament. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, it's a way of planning ahead. You're just gonna eliminating someone really strong, really solid. But on a viewer perspective, you know the feeling like you want to see him there, and that's the feeling that I was trying to transmit. But yeah, it's understandable. I mean, from a professional perspective and from a player perspective, if you eliminate that one that big this early, always good, good sign.
Yeah. Well, that I think wraps it up for the IPL qualifier number 3 news. And
Yeah.
if you guys haven't been paying attention to the qualifiers, I would highly recommend that because they are pretty action-packed so far, and they're only just a glimpse of what we're going to see when the official season rolls around. And I'm really excited to see what the Season 2 has in store for us because, as WhiteRa mentioned earlier, Season 1 was just a beta test, as they had announced. And for me, it was one of the most high quality and well done tournaments so far, and for being just a beta test, I think that's really neat. So I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes open for that and paying attention and watching all these matches pretty closely. But let's move on to something else here we have at hand, the StarsWars. I know that we've been trying to follow this as closely as possible every week, and it just seems that the StarsWars 6 has just not been getting the spotlight that I think it deserves because we've seen plenty of really big name players in there, and the games have been really really fun to watch so far, and you just don't see it being discussed as much as I wish it would have been. And WhiteRa, I know you have plenty of thoughts and opinions to talk about here. I have the round of 8 up on screen with the results, so why don't you discuss that a bit, and I'll get the VOD rolling for the round of 8.
Well, you guys can see the results, but for me, the main issue is that this tournament actually didn't got much visibility. Keep in mind that this Gigabyte StarsWar is around for a little while. They had Brood War before, now they transition into Starcraft 2, and it's probably the major event at the moment in China. They're trying to just start Starcraft 2 there. We see a lot of players getting qualified. Obviously, they might benefit from some lower latency issues to provide them a bit more of micro and some more stable playing. And well, this tournament had most of the big names in the community playing in it, but players from North America and Europe obviously struggled playing on that server, and they had a lot of latency issues. Still, we saw a lot of good matches.
Well, the thing is, they were actually quite nice about the whole server thing. Whenever a European played against an Asian, we always played on Europe. And when a North American played against an Asian, it was one match on North America, one match on Asia, and the third match was decided by coin flips. So they were actually providing really good conditions for foreigners.
Oh,
Yeah,
really
that
nice.
is good. Yeah, that is good, and I didn't knew that.
Yeah, I didn't know that
mean,
either.
if the organization is able to provide that kind of situation, it's really good. I mean, at least the player can benefit for a bit more, at least lower latency and some better conditions to play. Still, we do see that there's a lot of Chinese players at the moment taking the charge there and grabbing the final spots to play on the Final Four.
Yeah.
I think the next matches are now going to be played somewhere in mid-June, if I'm not mistaken. I need to check
June
the dates.
11th.
I'm not sure. Yeah, and we've been seeing a lot of epic matches, but like I was saying, for example, this tournament doesn't have the visibility that NASL or the IPL been having all this time. I know that IC Cup has been covering it and trying to stream as many games as possible, and it's the place where I've been sitting down and following it at night. But I think it should get a bit more love because it has a lot of good players, some really nice matches, and shouldn't be ignored. This one is passing a bit on the side of the community. That's my personal opinion. Hopefully the next one, next year, will be bigger and people will take some attention to it. Still, congrats. Was a huge tournament, and hopefully it's going to get bigger, especially when the Chinese start exploding on the scene. I'm hoping to see some of them rising to the occasion.
Yep.
Absolutely, it's gonna be scary when the Chinese come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I know that Sky and his brother Love CD already played on this one, and Sky is like top reference in Warcraft 3 in China. I mean, doesn't mean anything, but he might be one of the guys considering transitioning sooner or later, and it would be nice to see him play.
Definitely.
Definitely. It always means something. If you've been good in another RTS, you're gonna be good in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, let me just read off the results for the last bit of the round of 8 because I don't think we went over that. MC defeated Ace 2-0, and then Idra lost to Zhao T 2-0. Demaga losing to Love CD, that was 2-1. I was rooting for Demaga there, but Love CD pulled out the win. And then Morrow lost to Love TT 2-0. And so it's going to be a prominent and primarily Chinese affair at the finals. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. And we can put the date up on screen for the semifinals that will be taking place. And TLO, would you care to share a little bit of your experience? I followed your matches in the StarsWar 6. Maybe you can tell us a little bit how that went for you and how your experience was with this tournament.
It was a great tournament. I was doing pretty well at the beginning, taking out Hongun, who's a pretty strong Korean Protoss. Everybody have to admit that. I think he went to semifinals of GSL once, so I was pretty proud of that. But then I got taken out by Love City, and he made it to the semifinals now, so no big shame for me. And it was overall a pretty nice tournament, nice games. But I had a little bit of an off day when I was playing Love City, and that's what happened, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's what happens.
Yeah.
But hats off to the players who did advance to the round of 4. And as you can see on the screen, round of 4 will be taking place June 11th, so almost mid-June. And stay tuned for that because it's going to be an epic event. And I'm looking forward to see how these players turn out and just what kind of moves they're going to put on each other. But
Definitely.
Speaking of the Chinese esports scene, we have some news with Grandpa Toss. I don't know if you guys have paid attention, but WhiteRa is now joining the TT esports team, as it was recently announced. And it's a pretty big move, I would say. I know, Hydra, you're quite a big fan of WhiteRa, as I am. What are your thoughts on this? Oh, my bad, Sebastian.
Come on, everyone is. It's pretty obvious. The guy is nice. It's very rare to see him upset or trash-talking anyone, and he's quite a committed player. Also been on the scene for a long, long time. And now he has this deal. He's going to team up with Thermaltake, and apparently we might be seeing him in Taiwan. I'm not sure. I would like to see that. As you guys know, they have an organized league there with some fixed teams. They play on TV, and the players there have some monthly wages. I know that they're open to receive some foreigners there, and based on this agreement that WhiteRa has, obviously I haven't read the contract, but he might have some kind of participation there. I do know that I just casted a game like a couple of days ago on my channel with Julizerg, when Julizerg went to Taiwan to promote the league as well. So, I mean, if Julizerg goes there, we might be see WhiteRa soon enough playing there, or at least doing some show matches. And I think it's awesome news. And also, I'm pretty sure it's beneficial for WhiteRa. If he's agreeing to this contract, it's because he's going to get a nice profit out of it. And I think it's well-deserved. He's one of the finest players around.
Sorry,
Absolutely.
Sebastian.
It makes me so happy to see the world of esports grow to a global organization instead of having Asia versus Europe. But I think it's coming together, and WhiteRa absolutely deserves it. I mean, he's one of the oldest veterans of esports. He has done so much to promote the scene, and is the nicest guy on the planet, a hard worker, and a husband even. And I think nobody else deserves it more than him.
Yeah,
he is
absolutely.
Very humble player. Sorry, Sebastian, I didn't mean to leave you out there in the the fanboydom.
Me and Hydra will not fight about who loves WhiteRa the most. He's got enough star potential so that we all can worship him accordingly. But this is, of course, great. And just as Dario is saying, esports, to quote Tasteless, is based on the vehicle of technology. And even if that means lag issues, which I'm sure can be improved throughout the years by technical means, it does mean that everyone, no matter location or gender, can participate as viewers or as active participants, as gamers, as long as you got broadband, of course. But we have the capacity in this community and others like it to be a truly global organization and basis for competition. And that's good for so many things, not just awesomeness, but it can truly benefit a lot of people and perhaps even the world in a sort of integrated fashion. And WhiteRa being an ambassador, not just as a Ukrainian menace anymore, but a global representative. Taiwan is definitely far away from the foreign scene in which he became so famous back in Brood War. And to just see this happening, it's a great sign for great things that are yet to come.
Yeah, definitely. That's Sebastian the Scholar coming out here with some
Sounding
well-versed
like
philosophy.
Gandalf, yeah.
Awesome.
Sorry, I do that without even thinking about it.
No, it's awesome. I mean, that's why we have you here, the
Thank
philosopher.
you.
But moving
Moving
on with
on.
other news, we're speaking a little bit about MLG and TLO. I know you were talking about how you went out there to Columbus a little bit early to get prepared for MLG Columbus that's coming up. And MLG just put out recently the full player list, so you guys can check that out over on the MLG website. And I have on screen the top 20 players. And we have TLO here ranked number 5, so not bad, TLO. You're pretty high up there, I would say.
Yeah, thanks. I'm pretty happy about that spot. Making 5th place in MLG 2 times in a row. And yeah, gonna hope to make my place, like keep my place, or even come up higher at the ladder in the end. Especially, I should take over the place of the guy on top of me because I'm a little bit bothered by that.
Yeah. So, you have any special plans? I know you don't want to really reveal tactics or anything going to this MLG, but do you have anything special planned for this MLG? Anything you're gonna take in with you mentally, I guess, different? Maybe game plans or just how you're gonna view the event. I know you said before that you've been active in MLG and always the different events, so maybe you're gonna switch things up. Would you care to enlighten on that a little bit?
Well, what definitely always helps a lot at MLG is it's a very fan-active tournament, and then I'm just in my element, to be honest, because I can. Last time I was having a horrible fever at MLG, but I was feeling so shit and still made 5th place, and
Uh-huh.
I think that's only because I had so many fans there, people being really active, supporting me, and that's always great at MLGs because I can feel horrible, and then I enter like that gaming area and I have so much love around me that I start feeling good and go into the zone, just want to win because of the people around me.
That's awesome. So big shout out to all your fans who basically uplifted you and helped carry you through MLG when you were feeling ill that time.
Yeah, definitely. Big thanks. Without you, it wouldn't have been possible. And this time, I think it's gonna be great as well. Lots of fans as well. And seriously, MLGs are one of my favorite events by far.
Definitely. I'm hoping to actually be able to attend the one MLG sometime in the future. Granted, if my schedule allows me to, but from what I've heard, they're nothing but amazing events with just a bunch of nerds and esports and gamer fanatics showing up, and it's just one awesome get-together. And I mean, I think it's a really cool thing that's going on here in North America, and especially the way MLG and GSL are now working together. They're incorporating some of the Korean players and doing, I guess, a foreigner exchange type program. And as we were mentioning earlier, esports, specifically Starcraft 2, is turning into a more global game, and we're kind of breaking down those barriers and divides which we sort of had before. So I think it's really cool to see this sort of collaboration going on between major organizations in the esports scene.
Yeah, indeed.
Anything else you guys would like to add to that before we move on?
I would just like to make a question to TLO. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to just put this out from the top of his head, but TLO, from this list that you can see on the screen, can you pick like a guy you would like to face on the first round and the guy you would like to face on the finals?
You mean at MLG?
Yeah, at MLG.
I mean, I am facing Machine, Heypro, and Lucira in the group stage, right?
Okay,
So
yeah.
that's already set. So basically what I'm looking most forward to is playing either in Control or Lucira, because in Control I want to get a revenge on, and Lucira I want to show that I can beat him again like I did in GSL.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Of course.
Basically last round, if I would go to the finals, of course I'd like to meet a ally of me, Tyler or Heypro or Red, so that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
thank
would be
you.
awesome. I have another quick question about the Team Liquid presence there. How's the Team Liquid team doing, and how are they prepared mentally? Because it's been, I would say, a little bit of a rough time lately. We've seen some of the TLL boys struggling a little bit. Jinro seems to be struggling a little bit over in Korea, but Huck is doing quite well, and we just want to see a nice, strong presence and resurgence here from the TL boys over in MLG. So, do you mind maybe going into that a little bit and letting us know how everybody's prepared for this, how they're going into this mentally, and how things are going to go, hopefully?
Well, it's always nice when we gather together. I think that gives us a little bit of strength. It's a little bit sad we don't see each other so many times because we are like so split over the globe. Always a happy occurrence for us to meet together at MLG, and I think that MLG is going to be great. I mean, we are probably missing our two strongest players, which is Huck and Jinro, but nevertheless, I think we'll do well. And everybody went top 16 last time, and at least that we can definitely repeat. And I see one of us going into top 4 as well.
That would be awesome to see.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes on that and rooting for you and the whole rest of the TL team, seeing how everybody progresses. But
good luck to and all of Liquid.
Definitely.
Yeah. You guys do good.
So let's move on to the Korean scene. I know this is one of Hydra's personal favorites. One of the most action-packed tournaments that's currently going on is over in the Korean scene, the GSL I'm talking about. And before we actually get into the GSL Super Tournament, I just want to talk a little bit about the recent news where they're having the mercenary plan where the GSL Team League is going to be more favored now, and we can start seeing foreign teams move on into Korea, as well as mercenary sort of work between Korean established teams, and specifically they were mentioning about OGS and Team Liquid collaboration, and possibly some of the Team Liquid guys showing up in the Team League. I'm going to get the FXO team image up on screen, and TLO, do you think you could go into that a little bit about your thoughts? I know that you had played in the GSL early on in the stages, and then you departed back to Europe and other waters, but could you comment a little bit about that, on your feelings on how that's going to work out, maybe some collaboration between the OGS team and the Team Liquid team, and then we'll pass it around to the other guys.
With pleasure. I think it's a great thing what they're doing. Once again, trying to kind of unite foreign scene and Korean scene, especially for Team Liquid, is going to be a great opportunity because we only have 2 guys over there, so it's not going to be enough to actually basically deliver an entire team. But playing for OGS is going to be a nice thing for us, and you know, it's really hard to just take a foreign team and send it to Korea as an entirety. So having that mercenary kind of plan to involve foreigners is going to work out great, I think, because there are a lot of individuals who really want to go to Korea, but it's hard to go to Korea on your own. So being together with some Korean teams is gonna be a great opportunity.
Yeah, and I'm definitely interested in how FXO is going to do. I know that I definitely paid attention to, as well as the rest of the GGRated crew here. We were all very interested, and we were talking about and watching the World Championship League, where we had the foreign team versus the Korean team, and it seemed that the Korean team was going to be on their back heels there for quite some time, and the foreign team might take it. And I think that's partially able to contribute about how the whole team banded together, and they were there with each other and able to uplift each other really well. As you were saying, it's kind of hard to get along on your own as 1 or 2 foreigners only. So this whole team event is going to be really nice, and I'm really rooting for FXO to do really well because they're sending a huge chunk of their team over there, and they've already stated that even if things don't go so well, it's going to be a major milestone for them. So I'm really looking forward to that. And Sebastian, I know you always like to chime in on the meshing of foreigners with Koreans, and why don't you talk a little bit about that and share your thoughts, because I know I'm sure you have something to say.
Well, I can always go Gandalf on topics like this, but truth be told, what is interesting about this, beyond the sheer fun factor that we'll be seeing Chef and QXC and the other people we've seen on various streams and tournaments now be fighting in a GSL format with all that entails, is that a lot of money is being spent by people that must be from outside of the scene or recently arrived into it. Investors are seeking these opportunities to support esports, and that's of course because they think that's good business. All of a sudden, the Brood War community that was out in the cold, who tuned in to YouTube casts of Korean TV where we saw real players doing what we definitely could never do. Now we see this merging happen, and there's a lot of money involved, and I think we've only seen the tip of the iceberg yet. So much is being invested into globalizing this esports presence. This means that FX Open, with all their various sponsors, have been granted quite a nice chunk of money to establish their brand in not a Korean setting, but a global setting. They realize that GSL gets six-figure, if not seven-figure views on a weekly basis, and they really want to be in there. This is an entirely different world than what we had 1 year ago, and this is truly exciting. It is possible to make a business out of StarCraft 2 as a player, or more probably as a supporter of esports somewhere. That's where the real money lies, and that is definitely exciting.
Yeah, well said. And if anybody's wondering why Moonglade is not in the list, he's actually going through some struggles in his life right now. He has some things to work out, I think. That's what was announced on the internet. So too bad we're not going to see Moonglade there, because he has made a presence in the GSL Code A, I believe it was. So he has some experience there, so it's too bad we're not going to see him there. But we do have some really hot players such as Sheth and especially QXC. I'm really looking forward to see how he's going to perform in the GSTL environment. And I know QXC, you consider him one of your super dude buddies, Sebastian. Have you been able to converse with him at all about his prospects of going to Korea?
I have not. Last time I checked, which is not exactly recently, he was very intent on using his summer holiday for this very purpose. But that was, of course, way before we knew that FX Open would be sending an entire 8-man squad. So QXC definitely eager to go.
Yes. So I'm really going to be rooting for these guys, and I really want to see them do well. So everybody, make sure you tune in to the GSTL, and it's going to be one of the more preferred formats, is what they're announcing now. So I think that's really cool, because I really enjoy the GSTL. I think the Team League format is something that's really nice and a bit more action-packed and some more drama, and you see more goofiness, I guess. It's nice to have both, but I really enjoy the GSTL.
Yeah, it's nice to see Huck slapping the air after doing a win. We always love that stuff.
Yeah, all the different celebrations. We're still waiting on some Firebat Hero type celebrations, but hopefully we'll see something crazy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We still need that.
Yeah, for sure. But let's move on with... Oh, sorry, go ahead. Did you say something?
It was just pretty awesome already. What, for example, Top doing with the nunchucks and everything, I really like that. Definitely looking forward to Firebat Hero style as well.
Yeah, definitely. And Huck did that one celebration where he had the confetti in the booth. That was pretty cool. So we've seen some pretty cool things so far, and I'm really hoping we're going to see some more insanity, because I think that's a really nice thing to add some more spice to the game, and that's what makes the GSL Team League really fun. But let's move on with the GSL Super Tournament results. And Hydra, I'm going to turn over the mic to you and let you plow through the results here as I get the results on screen, and I'll get the VOD rolling for the GSL Super Tournament.
I'm not going to nag people much about the results. If you just show the screens, people can check it for themselves. What I would like to try to condense in a single word for this GSL, this week's GSL, is motherships. We saw several. We even saw Sakisu or Seokisu doing mothership rush and winning. I mean, shouldn't be missed. There was some really interesting matchups. Even the ZVZs were very cool. I'm sorry, Sebastian, could you repeat it, please?
It shouldn't be possible. I was interrupting you by saying.
Yeah, but for example, there were some interesting matchups. Like I was saying, Seokisu, or Trickster, is now recognized as TSL's Trickster, but he already had several names in the past. He went for Mothership Rush on one game and won. I think I even made a VOD of that moment.
Yeah, the VOD's wrong.
So it works. And you had another Protoss player at the moment. I'm just getting senile, so I don't remember his name. But yeah, there was another Protoss player that went for some mothership play and tried his best, but it didn't pay off very well. I think it was on the battle against Bomber. It was a very epic and long game, like 45 in-game minutes or something. But still, we had some very interesting results. One of them, I need to congratulate Huck. Huck grabbed his spot on Code S and has been defending it very, very well.
Definitely.
Yeah, he did quite
for
well on
Huck.
his go Huck.
Absolutely.
Anything you'd like to add to that, Dario, your teammate getting into Code S? Sorry for interrupting you, Hydra.
Just really proud of him. I'm such a big Huck fan. I think he doesn't get appreciated enough by some people because he's probably the hardest worker in Starcraft 2. Like, he practices more than the Koreans in his house. And that's a statement by itself. Huck is so fucking awesome as a player and as a person. So I'm really sad whenever he has a bad result, but I am even more so happy whenever he does good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can just tell he has this resilient air about him. He seems very competitive, and we mentioned quite a few episodes ago, we were talking about how he had lost a match, and some people were questioning whether he was going to depart from the Korean scene, as many other foreigners had done. But I was pretty confident in the feeling that he would stay, and it showed that he's been really resilient and he's been working really hard. It's nice to see him successful, and we can all cheer for the little bro toss there as he got his win. But go ahead, Hydra. Sorry.
Yeah, but to me, it feels that Huck is clearly on the rise. He's starting to get along with the Korean scene. I'm pretty sure he's starting to feel more comfortable there as well. Felt like he was in a transition period. He struggled a lot. But, I mean, he had this spot now on Code S, and he's been doing fairly well for now. I'm not sure how far he's going to go, but for now he has a well-deserved spot on Code S, and it's a sign of the work that he's been doing all this month. So congrats to him. But going a bit on the results, just skimming through them really quickly, you had the Slayers Young defeating OGS Inca 2-0, and you guys know that Inca was the finalist from the previous GSL season, so kind of a surprise here, kind of an upset. I already commented here that the Slayers teammates from Ryang say that he's one of the finest players there, but he still has a lot to prove in my modest opinion, but he is solid, and he showed here once again defeating Inca 2-0. MVP Violet starting to show up as a Zerg, 2-0 over the OGS coach, OGS the Wind. This matchup was interesting. I watched this one. TSL Rain, I don't know. He had the final. He played on one of the finals like on season 2 or 3, if I'm not mistaken. And since then, he's just going down on a slump and defeated here by MVP Kim 2-0. Yuk 2, now a member of OGS. Juk 2, he was formerly known as Juk 2 Jung. Won 2-0 over AnyPro Prime, 2-1, I'm sorry. And kind of a surprise as well. People were expecting AnyPro to take the win here. Then you have Trickster defeating Slayers Yu-Gi-Oh! 2-0 with Mothership Rush included. You guys should take a look at this match if you have the chance. Go on the GOM TV website and take a look at it. It was really cool. He just rushed for the Mothership. It was impressive. And you're sitting watching and thinking, no way, he's going to try that? Oh my God, it worked. Cool. And then you have the Best For You defeating Zenix John 2-0. MVP Genius 2-1 over Slayers Boxer. A nice result for Genius. As you guys know, he was kind of fading away, but seems like he's gathering his forces and showing up on the scene once more with a defeat over Slayers Boxer. Would it be an upset? Well, probably, at least for the biggest fans of Slayers Boxer, they would expecting him to take the win here. And then you have Slayers Min defeating July. Big disappointed for me. I like July, I'm a big fan, but he lost 2-1 to Slayers Min, and July didn't stood a chance there. Slayers Min was more consistent, and he took the final victory on this ZVZ. Then you have Hungan Prime defeating Fox Moon 2-1. Not sure what else to say about Fox Moon. He's been around on the scene for a while, but he's struggling a lot on the GSL, and he's in Korea trying his luck, fighting his way for several months now. He already tried his luck on several GSLs. Then you have TSL Revival, 2-0 over OGS in Snare. STA, Startail Ace, 2-1 over Fruit Dealer, disappointing for me. And Marine King Prime, 2-0 over Squirtle. So Squirtle, the all-kill man on the GSTL, he built his reputation around that and had some nice matches afterwards as well. He didn't stand a chance here against Marine King Prime. Then following the rest of the results to wrap it up, Clyde defeating Rainbow, 2-1.
Clyde.
Yeah. Will it be the time? Will it be
Clyde.
this one that Tastosis will be right on the spot and claiming that Clyde is the best player in the world and taking the victory here on the Super Tournament? Who knows? For now, he defeated Rainbow 2-1. Then Linok for you defeating TSL Alive. Just a small mention to this match. It's TSL Alive, code S, facing Linok for you, code B. And Linok cleaned him 2-0, just straight, just killed the guy. And you guys should watch this match. They were interesting to watch, in my opinion, from a Zerg perspective, to see how effective and how clean Linok did alive on this matchup here.
Yeah.
Then
real quick, Hydra,
Go ahead,
in my opinion, I don't think Linok is Code B material. I mean, he is quite young, but he is a very solid Zerg player, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. As you can see now at the moment on the stream, you have the Mothership Rush roaming around, going after Slayers Yu-Gi-Oh. But continuing on the results, Zenex Beyond defeating Legal Mind 2-1. Okay, Legal Mind is a name that I recognize from the first stages of the GSL on like first season, and then he kind of disappeared. And Slayers Alicia defeating OGS-MC on a PvP, and this was interesting to watch. This was a cool one, and another sign that Alicia is here to stay. The guy is good. Actually, Slayers team is getting a lot of solid, strong players. Slayers Boxer has been working them a lot, and seems that they're like quite committed gamers. I'm pretty sure they sacrifice a lot and they focus a lot on their practice to get this high and this solid to just come here and defeat OGS MC 2-0. And then you have Killer getting defeated by Bomber 2-0. OGS Cezanne losing to IMNST 2-1, but if you guys have a chance to check this series, please do, because you see a lot of different strategies and the way that ZVZ is heading at the moment because of all the changes that the latest patch has been applying. Nesty took the win 2-1, but it was close call there. Pult Prime 2-1 over Lozira. Disappointing here. I was hoping Lozira to take the win. And congrats to Liquid Huck, defeating on a PvP 2-1 over Hoseo Sun, formerly known as Sun Zenith. And last but not least, the games from today. Jinro getting defeated by Zenix Line 2-0. A disappointment for me. I don't even recognize Zenix Line. I guess I need to study a bit more. And I was hoping Jinro to just put out a nice show. It wasn't the case. Then you have Kirix from Team Zenix defeating 2-0 Bun Bun Zenith, now recognized as Hoseo Van Vanth. And I Am Junui losing for ST Virus 2-1. And last but not least, Nava cleaning Coca 2-0. Just no chance whatsoever. I watched this game. Yeah, and Nada did very well there, yeah. Very solid, defeating Coca, no chance for Coca. And, well, this is the results for the GSL at the moment.
Yeah, long list. Thanks, Hydra. I'm going to have to go back because I wasn't able to catch all those matches. I was definitely tuning in here and there, and I was able to catch some of the Hawk general matches and a few of the other assorted matches, but I didn't get to see all the Mothership play in the beginning, so I'm going to have to go back and check those matches out. But I just did want to ask, TLO, have you seen any of the matches from GSL, or have you been paying any attention to that? What's going on?
I haven't watched too many of them, but I definitely caught Nada against, what was his name?
Nada versus Zenix Coca?
Yeah,
No,
definitely
yeah,
against
yeah.
Coca. That was pretty epic games by Nada. And Snare against, what was his name? I'm so bad right now.
Wait, let me check. Zenix Coca was playing against Nada. What was the other game?
And Snare against...
Oh, and
OGS
Snare versus
Revival.
GSL Revival.
Yeah,
That was the worst series I've ever seen in my life. Just like, it was kind of interesting because both players were playing so bad, so it was kind of hilarious. But it was so weird. Like, both players had the game like 5 times. Then they made a horrible mistake, and the other player was so far ahead, and then he keeps on making mistakes, and it was. And the commentators were commentating everything in the wrong way. So the only people who were actually getting anything right was the observer who was observing the game. That was the only person who actually knew what was going on, who was doing a good job. Everybody else was just horrible.
Oh my goodness. I'll have to go back and check that hilarity out. But I did have a specific question. Have you seen the new beach map?
Yeah, that was actually played out on Belchier Beach.
yeah, Belcher Beach, yeah.
I was wondering, could you give us any thoughts on, as a programmer perspective, on the quality of the map? I know aesthetically it's pretty pleasing. I was growing a bit weary of all the space maps and hard map textures. It's nice to see a bit of earthy style of a map. And specifically, something that I did notice about the map was the choke point to the base there. You could get a nice high ground position and get off a few shots, as we saw Huck took really good advantage of that when he was taking place in his match. But from a programmer perspective, is there anything from the map that you can tell everybody to look out for, or on the quality of the map's design?
First of all, I gotta say it's a total rip-off of the Supreme Commander map, the game I used to play before Starcraft 2. I'm serious, it's a one-to-one copy. It's like, the guy who made that map definitely played Supreme Commander or Total Annihilation.
So then you should have a clear advantage on that map, huh?
Absolutely, because it's
Is
gonna
that a
have
good
so
thing, though, that he took the map from Supreme Commander? I mean,
I think
inspiration.
I think it's a horrible map, to be honest. I can't see Terran winning against Zerg on that map ever. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like so open. You have 8 ways to go through, and you can flank so easily. So I think it's gonna be a really tough map for Terran against Zerg, and possibly for Protoss against Terran as well. So I'm not sure how that map is gonna work out. I mean, it's nice introducing like new geometries that we haven't seen before, and maybe I'm mistaken. I hope so, but so far I'm not sure. It's a tricky map. Everything is open so many different ways, but maybe it's gonna create some new interesting ways of playing StarCraft. So looking forward to see how it plays out.
Yeah, it's been getting some spotlight and some action so far. We've seen quite a few of the matches in the Super Tournament using it, and as you did mention, there was a lot of openings for attack for Zerg to run in there, and specifically, I know Jinro got basically dismantled when he was playing his match. But is there any comments you'd like to make on the patch changes and how things are shaping up? A lot has been the game is changing quite fast, and it seems that just when you get comfortable with something, they institute another patch change, which in my opinion is quite good, because we don't want to see a stagnation of StarCraft whatsoever, and I think Blizzard is trying their hardest and doing a good job at trying to balance out the game so far. So I know you have quite a bit of experience with all races, and I remember when I used to listen to State of the Game podcast in its original stages, people referred to you as the statistics man, because you basically had all the numbers on hand, off head for everything that's going on.
Yeah, I guess that is another thing coming from the Supreme Commander days, because every unit did not have like 3 or 4 stats, but 25.
Oh my gosh.
Everything from velocity to acceleration to turret angle to turret acceleration, shit like that. But yeah.
So you had like math equations right next to you for everything, basically.
Kinda. But I don't think the patch changed really anything, to be honest. I didn't feel any impact. That's all I can say. Like the increased, I mean, a longer research time for warp gates sounded like a good idea, but in PvP it didn't change anything. People are still playing 4-gate. In PvC it didn't change anything, and in PvT made fast expand a little bit harder, but nothing else. So I don't know. The patch was just a little bit weird.
We have a question from the chat here. Dorian123 would like us to ask, how is TVZ changing now, especially in Fester change and in TVP? Are people stopping to do the triple M, the 3M?
It got a lot tougher for Terran nowadays. People are utilizing Infestors in such a good way, and Infestors got a huge buff. Yeah, I think people are starting to find new ways to work around the current problems, using more ghosts, using more banshees to snipe up Infestors. Overall, I think TVC is heading in a more interesting direction than just stale Marine tank medivac. It's gonna be tough for Terrans for a while, but after that time of overcoming and finding new metagame, I think TVC is gonna look a lot more interesting.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I had another question about the GSL. I know that you had made an appearance early on in the GSL stages when it was, I guess, sort of in its infancy, and then you withdrew for other directions that you were heading on. Now that we discussed a little bit about the mercenary type deal, do you think we're going to be able to see you show up over there in Korea a little bit more? because I still remember that that one match where he had against OGS Hyperdub with the epic tank siege lines and the nukes, and I mean that's still just one of the matches that's ingrained in my memory from the early days. But are we going to see any more of that, or are we going to be graced by some TLO madness?
Well, for now, I don't have any plans to return to Korea. I mean, I haven't been doing as well as I would like to in Europe yet. And maybe one day when I'll start being dominant in Europe, I can see myself returning to Korea right now. And then, but right now I see myself just very comfortable here. Lots of things for me to learn and figure out about pro gaming. And yeah, I think I can best do that in Europe, like finding my balance and seeing where things head. I think there's a lot of open like potential for me that I'm not using yet, and so I try to make use of that potential here. And I think Europe is a great place to be right now as well when it comes to esports. So I'm pretty happy.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
And if I may,
Go ahead, Sebastian.
no, I just wanted to, of course, input that nowadays you don't have to go to Korea to be in business. You can actually, that is one option, but not the only. But another question to Dario, again, from a pro gamer's perspective, now that you are heading up a pro gamer house, and it's, you know, whether you're gaming or not, you have a general's perspective, a general's agenda. Where do you look for inspiration or strategic guidance? Do you go and look at the GSL, see what the meta game there is all about, and take it with you, or is it completely across the board where you look for the next thing, where you look for developments, new strategies to perform yourself, stuff like that?
Well, I mean, you can find inspiration from new strategy anywhere, and to be honest, the places where I find most inspiration for new build orders and new ways to play the game is when I don't even sit in a PC. Like, I noticed like the past few days I haven't really been playing, and now my brain started working a lot faster than thinking about things. So when I'm taking a walk outside, I don't know, listening to some nice music, that's when magic happens, and that's when I find out new ways to play Starcraft, not when I'm sitting in front of a PC and having that light in my eyes all day long and having Starcraft sounds hammering into me. I think it's good to take a step back from gaming sometimes to look upon it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I know you listen a lot to Hans Zimmer. You got a specific track you want to recommend to our viewers?
Time is amazing. But the Inception soundtrack, Time, is so good.
Seriously. There you have it, folks. That's how you get good at StarCraft. Listen to Hans Zimmer and watch Inception. If you can figure out that movie, then you are a strategist.
Absolutely, it definitely helps.
One last question for me, so we can let you just practice get ready for the NASL match and get a bit of rest. My question is basically a funny one. I remember sitting down to watch you on DreamHack Invitational and you doing 7 racks out of 1 base against IPL, and then having IPL sitting on the couch and going, "What? He did 4 racks on me." And the host, Too Good, is saying, no, he did 7 racks. What? 7 racks out of 1 base? I don't even think that's possible. So what was going through your mind for you to decide to say, okay, I'm going to do 7 racks out of 1 base, and I'm going to win?
Inception.
It's a pretty funny story, actually. You know, the build is not my build, but the Mango's build, TL writing stuff, and he was at MLG with me and with all of us, and Hotbit was already telling me, you gotta do 7 racks against IPL. So I defeat IPL 2-0 at MLG Dallas, and first game he messes up. I play a kind of standard build for me at least, and defeat him. And second map we spawn on Metallopolis, and I just go for 2 proxy barracks because it's pretty strong there. So I didn't really got to use the strategy I was suggested to, and I didn't really practice it for MLG yet. So after MLG, I was like, I'm gonna meet WhiteRa again. So I was starting to think, what strategy could I play? And I was like, somebody told me I should 7 racks. Let's do it.
Of course.
I'm gonna say from a viewer perspective, that was definitely a crowd pleaser, and I know everybody was going wild. I mean, I watched the entire DreamHack event, and I was going nuts when I saw that, especially the interview afterwards.
Awesome. Yeah, it was awesome, and to see Idra surprised like that, and the capability of actually getting 7 racks working out of one base. I was just thinking, no way, there's no minerals to get all of that out, and then do you
Yeah.
see start the Marines just flowing out, and I was going, oh my God, huge stream of Marines is gonna trample him, and voila, you did. Congrats, was awesome to watch, loved it.
Thank you. I couldn't believe it's
Yeah.
actually possible either. Like when Hotbit was telling me that Mango does 7 Rex, I was like, that's just retarded. Can't be possible.
That's the genius of it.
Yeah.
Is there
Okay.
any possibility we might see another 7 racks surface in the DreamHack event that's going to be taking place here in the summer?
Well, I don't know. People kind of expect it, but they should definitely fear it every single game. So I'll just leave it with that.
So you've
No.
you've struck the fear into people, so now they got to watch out for even that.
Yeah, right. That's the nice
You
thing
can't
when
go-
you play strategies like that. You play it once, and it's gonna be in
Yeah.
their head like all the time. They're gonna be, I don't know. He's
Yeah.
not really scouting. He's not. I don't know. Maybe he has a CC, but maybe he has 7 barracks. I don't know. Better build additional spine crawler.
Well, I have one last question for you. I don't want to keep you too long. I know you have NASL coming up soon, but I just want to talk to you a little bit about the Spanishiwa encounters you've been having. Specifically, we talked a bit about the show match a while ago. I know Sebastian and I were conversing about that. And then in the 24-hour charity, you teamed up with Spanishiwa for some 2v2. I think Spanishiwa has one of the most creative play styles, I would say, out there as a Zerg player. Sort of something that you would see from you, I guess. You were known as one of the innovators and creators. And seeing you guys play together, that was something that was really enjoyable for me, as I am quite a Spanishiwa fanboy, and I've been paying attention to him and his rise on the new stardom. Is there any comments you'd like to make about Spanishiwa and how that went?
Well, in the show match, I was playing pretty badly, but I was a little bit confused by his style. Kinda totally clashed how I play, so I was probably a little bit badly prepared. I should have seen that coming. And playing together with him was an absolute blast. I don't think I had so much fun in a long time playing Starcraft. Just like, because we work so well together and have the same kind of ideas, and I think I want to play more with Spanishiwa. He's a great player, has a beautiful mind, and a lot of fun playing the game. So
Yeah.
Spanishiwa is awesome, and I'm a little bit of a fan of him myself. So
We
Yeah.
all
bad
are.
no bad feelings for me
Yeah.
losing to him. And he's a great player.
Yeah, that's not. I was not trying to incite any bad feelings there. I was just wondering how it was going from the show match, playing against him, to playing with him as an ally. And it seemed that you guys worked really well together and put some creative builds together to overthrow your opponents, which was pretty cool. But Sebastian, anything else you want to add? Ask TLO before we wrap it up here.
No,
Sebastian,
I'm gonna
sorry.
let.
I'm sorry, I
Okay.
think you should just indulge on FXO frequency and make the question that he wants, so you can bring him and QXC or someone else on the next show. Just ask his question. He's
Go for it,
basically-
Hydra. What's the question?
No, it's simple. He's just teasing TLO a little bit. He wants us to ask TLO if you would marry him. It's FXO frequency, one of the members of Team FXO.
Oh,
just
I
teasing
know him
you a
very
little
well.
bit.
I don't know. I don't know, Mark. I'm not ready yet.
Oh man,
There you go. It's done.
awesome. All right, well,
Well,
I
I
think
happen to know you got some special attention waiting for you in Columbus, Ohio, Dario. So maybe you'll get back to FXO frequency when you've done ravaging the American countryside.
Yeah, maybe do that.
all right, well, I think we'll end it on that note here before we get any more craziness, and don't want to take up too much of TLO's time, but man, TLO, thanks a lot for coming on to the show today. Really appreciate having you, and it was really fun having you provide a little bit of insight into some things that maybe we're not so knowledgeable about with, and then getting to chat with you a little bit here at the end was really fun. So really appreciative of you taking time out to come on the show today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it too. It was a lot of fun and nice to do things for esports besides just playing.
Yeah, definitely. Any shout-outs you want to make? Anything to your fans or anything you want everybody else watching to hear before we wrap it up and sign off?
Just to everybody, keep being awesome.
There you have it. Keep being awesome. Anything from you, Hydra or Sebastian?
I'm fine. I'm more than pleased to have TLO here. He's more than welcome to show up in any other show. Just plug whatever he wants, promote whatever he wants. As long as he shows up to have a bit of time with us, he's more than welcome anytime. It's a pleasure. So thank you once more, TLO.
You're welcome.
Sebastian, anything from you?
For my part, I'd like to just put out there to any viewers that if you're hungry for some excellent StarCraft 2 action and more of TLO in-depthness, him and I have been doing a couple of dual commentaries. The first one got released just a short while ago, where we commentate on Mondragon playing Empire Cass, and that's quite an epic game now up on my channel. And tomorrow we'll be seeing him clash with Brat Ok, and that, ladies and gentlemen, you will want to see.
Oh, sounds good.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm going to tune in for that. But
Okay.
yeah, thanks everybody who did turn in today. This was a great turnout. Really cool to have feedback from the viewers in the chat, get some questions going here. So thanks everybody who did show up. You can add us on Justin TV, follow us. Also add us on Twitter, GGRated on Twitter, and spread the word about the GGRated.net live show. Tell your friends, because we put the videos up for on-demand viewers, and we also put a podcast up. So for anybody who missed the show, spread the news. And we do this every Monday, and we love doing this. So hopefully we'll be bringing on more special guests. I guess Frequency now has to bring QXC on the show, because we did him a favor. And TLO, maybe some of the programmers in your house wouldn't mind coming on for a bit. They don't have to show up for the entire show, but if any of them ever desire to come on the show and have a chat with us, that would be really cool and more than welcome. So tell your housemates that.
Definitely. Just let me know when you're going to do your thing, and I can transmit the message.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, sir.
That's it for our show this week. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and this is the Iceman signing out. GG.
GG.
Awesome. All right, see you guys. Have fun.
All right.
Are we off, Iceman?
Hydra, does the sound good? We're done?
Yeah, it's done. You can put it down. It's done.